Welcome to Conversations with Laurel, everyone. I am your host, Laurel McHargue, and today I have a really fun story to share with you, one that I absolutely loved. And the author is Mark Benson. Mark, welcome to Conversations with Laurel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and thank you for reading my book. I appreciate that.
I appreciated reading it, let me tell you, and I'm going to show everybody a little bit about
There it
the
is.
cover. I love the
Isn't it
cover of this
pretty?
book too.
Yeah.
It's really
Thank
pretty.
you.
Who
I
did
designed
your
it.
You
Mm,
designed your own cover?
yeah.
Well, you should have given yourself credit on the inside because this is so
It felt extra. But
uh,
yeah, I people like the cover. I mean I like the cover, that's why I did it, but I've gotten very good reactions to the cover and that's satisfying too. So,
I love it. It's simple, it's beautiful.
yep.
It definitely expresses the tone of the whole book. Mark, tell our listeners, tell our audience a little bit about you. Introduce
Yeah,
yourself.
so my name is Mark Benson. I grew up in the Chicago area, went to college in Milwaukee at Marquette University, and then traveled around. I've had a few career changes because I love learning about all sorts of different interesting things. So I've worked in journalism and I own a laundromat and I do educational programming for NASA and I plan Disney vacations and I work in restaurants and the one thing that I've done throughout all of that is write. So that's kind of the one thing that hasn't really changed, except I hope I've gotten a little better at it. So,
You're a man for all seasons, a Renaissance
yep,
man, perhaps you might
I'll
say.
take it. Yeah, either that or a very indecisive, one or the other. Yeah.
No, curious. You're curious and
Yes.
you're a lifelong learner. And these are things that we should be, everybody
I
out
hope
there.
so. Yep.
Be a lifelong learner because it keeps your life interesting. Um, Mark, I think we've probably all at one point or another in our lives marveled at a starry night, right? A clear starry night. I know I have it. I live in Colorado, by the way. Is it snowing where you are right now?
No, no, today's pretty nice. We'll take today. Yeah.
Because, now that winter's over in Colorado, it's snowing in buckets
Starts
right
to
now.
snow.
Which
We're in Colorado. I love Colorado. I had family in
Yeah,
Colorado growing up. We're in
Salida.
Colorado.
I'm in
Okay, I
Salida,
don't know
if you're
that one.
familiar with
I
it. It's
had
it's 2 hours directly west of Colorado Springs
okay, I had
in the
family in the
mountains.
Springs, so I guess that's probably as close as I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an hour south of Leadville where we lived for 12 years. That's a whole other
Okay.
story. But
Yeah.
anyway, marveling at the stars, which we see often here. I think we all have, but you took your interest to, I think, a whole new level, right? So talk about the work you started in 2017, the NASA thing.
Yeah, so I mean it started randomly. It started not intentionally. I was looking at the Adler Planetarium website here in Chicago because I wanted to see what their observatory hours were. And I hadn't been there for a little bit, at least up to the observatory. And I went to check their hours, and they had a little thing on there next to their hours asking for volunteers to help run the observatory. And my first thought was like for free? Like I don't have to pay someone for the opportunity. Like if I go to the aquarium and want to pet a beluga, I have to pay for that. So like I can touch your telescopes for free. Like that's really what's happening. So I applied to be a volunteer and they accepted me into their program and I volunteered there for a lot many years and got really excited and comfortable with showing people telescopes is my favorite thing to get people to look through telescopes. I didn't even like the big observatory. Like I liked it. It did really wonderful stuff, but my favorite thing was taking a small telescope out on the front steps and greeting people before they even got in the door. Like they didn't even have their tickets yet, and I've already shown them the sun. Or I've already shown them, what I called architectural astronomy when it was cloudy and we just look at a building. So I just love the idea that they learned something before they even bought a ticket. So did that for a while, and then that just kind of, conversations, talking with really cool, well-connected people there. Someone mentioned NASA was having this thing where they invite people with social media platforms to come out and attend a launch or a mission preview or something and NASA wants people to promote it and share all this stuff. And I didn't have much of a social media platform, and I honestly really don't still. Um, But maybe the planetarium thing on my application got me in. So NASA picked me along with maybe 15 or 20 other people to come out and watch the end of the Cassini mission to Saturn, which I say watch, and what I really mean is watching that is watching a code on the screen, like watching a pulse, just suddenly flatline. Like that's, you're not actually watching it, you're just watching the signal and then it just stops.
Huh.
And so I was out there in California at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory for 2.5, 3 days or so. So I got tours and met a lot of amazing people. Again, I don't know how I was picked. I was literally, they were going around the room introducing us. We were supposed to introduce ourselves on the first day. And the person next to me was a writer on the show The Expanse.
Oh, oh, what a great
And
show.
and then I followed them and was like, I own a laundromat and I like looking through telescopes. I don't know what else to say. Um, so
I
that
love
was
it.
terrifying. And then I thought, well, maybe the person next to me is, similar to my background, just
Just
kind
a
of
dude.
randomly selected. No, he is in charge of the creature and wardrobe costuming shop on for the Star Trek universe. And what he designs is canon. And he like literally like they literally had a show on like the Sci-Fi Network that was like American Idol, but for like makeup, like prosthetic makeup
Yeah, yeah,
designers
yeah,
for like
yeah.
sci-fi things, monster makeup, things like that. And he was one of the judges. Like he wasn't even a contestant, he was a judge. So I'm like, what am I doing here? Um, but I had a great trip out there and that's super social. I don't do well in social settings. Typically, I keep to myself, especially like if I know people there, I'll be fine. But if I don't know people, I'm not going to introduce myself. And there's kind of a reception after the mission was done. And I'm in this room and there's people mingling about, and I am absolutely not mingling about. And I'm pinned to a wall and nursing a Coke. And I finally am just like yelling at myself internally, like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. You were only out here this one time. You're not going to get another invite. You have to do something. Like, do something now. Say hi to somebody. And I looked across the room and I saw these two older gentlemen on the far wall. And I thought they're by themselves, just sipping whatever they're drinking. And I'm like, they look harmless. They both look like my grandparents look. Um, this can't be that bad. I'm gonna go and talk to these two. These are
You're
my
killing
safe
me.
bet.
You're killing me.
So so I go over and talk to them and I don't know what to do. They both clearly work for NASA. They have NASA badges. And I just like I go from I don't know what to say to nervously spilling everything. They're like, "Oh, so why are you here? How did you get an invite to this?" And I, without even having their names, I just start talking. Like, "Oh, I work at the planetarium and I volunteer and I teach people telescopes. It's really cool. My favorite thing to look at in the sky is this." And I'm just going on and on. For all I know, I told them about my laundromat. I don't even know what I told these two. Um, and like midway through the conversation, I catch myself and I stop and I'm like, and I say what turned out to be what I think is maybe the dumbest question I've ever asked in my entire life. I said, what do you two do at NASA? And that's when I found out that one of them built the Voyager spacecrafts and the other, his name is literally on mission control and used to be the director of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I'm talking to legends. I'm talking to Mount Rushmore NASA people, and I didn't have a clue. And I'm telling them about how I show people telescopes, and they're like, "Oh, I should have been asking them questions." And so that was extremely embarrassing. And the other half of my brain is going, "See, this is why you stay on the other end. This is why you don't introduce yourself to people." Um, but then one of them said, "Well, are you in the ambassador program?" And I said, "What's the
What's the
ambassador
message?
program?" And they looked across the room and they flagged down whoever was the head of the ambassador program and had her come over. And they said, "Hi, we have Mark here, and he is your newest candidate for the ambassador program." And I still don't even know what the thing is. And I
I'm
say,
in.
well, I say, if these two are my references, then I will apply for whatever you want me to apply for. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll be his references. So I go and I apply and they put their names on my application, which I now very well know. And I get in. And so I'm like, I may be an average ambassador, I may be a great ambassador, but I have the best ambassador application ever. Like I have these two gentlemen as my references, and nobody can beat that. Like I had those two, and like the president of the Adler Planetarium were like my three references. I'm like, okay, nobody's got me beat. I'm that. I've got this down. So
Oh my God. That is an unbelievable story.
yeah,
You are so Isaac. Am I right in saying that you are
yes,
so
very
Isaac?
much,
All right.
very much. Yes, yes. Isaac. I like to say Isaac borrowed from me. That's the way that I usually put it. So
So
yeah,
the
the
book,
good
I don't,
traits and the bad ones.
well,
So
yeah, so I, I said we were going to talk about your book. I don't even know if I mentioned the title of it to those just listening on the
well, you
audio.
held up that beautiful cover.
It's a
So
beautiful cover, and the book is called Isaac and the Sky.
there it is.
What a story, holy mackerel! So, in the story, your main character Isaac, who now I just know is you,
Yeah,
discovers a planet, right? I mean,
yep,
that's, yeah.
that's what he
When
does.
when did you first hear about Planet Nine? Because I of course, went online and looked it up in Planet Nine and
Mhm.
like, holy mackerel, it's
There's a lot
fascinating.
out there. There's a lot
There's a
out there
lot,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So tell our listeners about Planet Nine.
Yeah, so I had heard about it at the Adler Planetarium. I was there volunteering one day, and at the end of my shift, one of the many sky shows they had that day in one of their theaters was about two astronomers who had a theory that there's a massive ninth planet out there in our solar system. And they had all this kind of, circumstantial evidence. These gravitational waves and poles that were going on in the solar system would, to them, would only be like, why are things being pushed this way? Why are things being pushed and pulled like this? And when they put their modeling figures in, the theory that came up was that, well, there has to be something really big over here that's doing that. So their theory was that there was a very large ninth planet out there with a very long orbit, hasn't been in our neighborhood for a very long time. Um, and they're on the search for it. And they have um so then how that kind of leads to my story is that so A, they haven't found it, which they can find it now. That would be great. I just didn't want them to find it while I was writing the book. Um, but I saw the film about them, and it came out on the front steps of the planetarium, and I was just kind of like standing on the steps, looking for my car in the parking lot, which is kind of down in the distance. And these two astronomers have all the PhDs you could hope for. They have staff, they have funding, they have observatories on mountaintops, they have time, all the stuff you would want to be able to conduct this kind of search. And it is needle in a haystack. Searching the night sky for anything is needle in a haystack. So even using a powered telescope to look at the moon and just to find the moon without a guide is hard because the sky is big. So I was just kind of standing on the front steps thinking about what I had just watched and thought, what if some kid just like accidentally found it? Like, they're trying to, but what if some kid just found it in a light polluted city with an average to below average backyard telescope and wasn't even looking for it, just happened upon it? Like, what would that be like?
Yeah.
Um, and I started walking to my car and I developed stories in a weird way. I developed characters kind of separately from plots.
Okay.
So I have like a
Yeah.
notebook full of characters and backstories, and I'm always playing a matching game. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
adventure does this character need?
I was
So
going to
I already
ask
had
about that.
Isaac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isaac already existed. Isaac's full backstory was in my head already. He already existed. I just needed an adventure. I needed a present day for him. I needed an
Yeah.
adventure. Where was he going to go? And as I was walking to my car, very quickly popped into my head, okay, this should be for Isaac. I think Isaac needs this kind of adventure, primarily because him finding something like this, there's nothing more dangerous to the character of Isaac than this discovery. This is an extremely dangerous discovery. Someone who is um, just spent his whole life fighting attention
Yeah. Yeah.
and wants nothing to do with society and the world.
Yeah.
Making a global discovery that everyone's going to want to know about is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so on my walk to car, I'm like, okay, Isaac's going to find this thing. This is going to work really well. I got to my car, I sat down, and I have a notebook there. And I pulled out my notebook and I scribbled a little like bad drawing of a telescope. And then I wrote, with his mom's telescope, Isaac finds something that no one has ever seen before. And in turn, he hopes the world will see him in a way they've never seen him before. And as soon as I scribbled that, I was like, yeah, that's a story. Like
Yeah, you knew
I
your
have a
plot. So
story.
yeah.
This isn't going
Yeah.
to be a flash in the plan, this flash in the pan. This isn't going to be a story that I think is really cool for 3 hours. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, no, this is stupid. Why did I think of that? I knew this one was going to work. And on my like 30-minute drive home, I pretty much plotted the whole story,
Oh
got
my
home and
gosh.
started working on it like immediately and wrote it in about 27 days.
Whoa.
Like wrote it
Wow.
fast. Yeah.
And it's such a fast read because it's so engaging. And so you've already answered one of my
Good.
questions. I was going to ask if you were a planner or a pantser, but so you obviously planned
I
characters.
plan.
You
Yeah, I
did you
plan the
did
plot
you
as well.
okay, all right.
Yeah,
All
so I
right.
outlined it. I outlined it very well. He didn't vary from the plot too much. I do have times when my plan doesn't go because the characters don't wanna.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
that
but
happens. Yeah.
um, but this one kind of stayed on course. It was
So
outlined. So I did a good job of outlining. And after
yeah,
that, the way that I describe it is I'm at that point, I'm just taking dictation, like from
yes,
up here.
from your muse. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just taking dictation. So once I have the outline, I type very fast and I work very fast and I can get these done. So Isaac was maybe the fastest one I've done. So it was a little bit of a lightning strike story, but
Yeah.
still I write fast and I
Yeah.
plan in great I always say I write second drafts, not first drafts, because my
Oh, all
outline
right.
is
You
my
already
first
have it in your
draft.
head.
Yeah.
That's incredible, incredible. So again, Planet Nine. The research I did, the little bit of research I did on it,
Yeah.
they think it might actually even be a black hole, possibly. Or
Yeah, there's other
um,
theories on it now. I know one of the astronomers, I think, has a different theory than his partner had now, so they've changed their thoughts a little bit. I did email back and forth with them at the time I was writing it, and I did get responses from them. I was basically said, "Hey, I'm creating a fictional world. Obviously, this is, fantasy in that, this isn't going to happen. But
well,
if a kid were to look through a basic telescope in the backyard and happen to see a fuzzy little dot that they didn't know what it was, where would it have to be in your models? Where in the sky would it have to be? How close would it have to be?" And they gave me a lot of really good answers and really helped me. So a lot of the details in the book about where in the sky he's looking, that came directly from them telling me, we haven't looked there yet. I went, perfect. That's where my character is going to look then. So that they were very helpful. And they were
that's
also very helpful because they haven't found it yet. So
right. Well, I read something about 2027. Possibly the Rubin Observatory might
you want to jump into
either
that? Okay.
either determine that it exists or doesn't.
It doesn't?
Um,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's fascinating,
I
and
don't
now
know either,
I'm
but
going to
it's
be
fascinating. Yeah.
now I'm going to be looking into it. So, all right, your main character, Isaac, because Isaac
Yep.
in the Sky.
Yep.
You don't say it in the book, and of course
Mhm.
he undergoes just this horrible thing with and I don't want to give away too much, but I think you pretty
It's
much
on
put
the
it in
back
the
of the book.
book. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His father kills his mother, so
Yep.
he deals with some horrible things. You don't say it, but does Isaac have maybe some form of autism? He clearly has like an
Absolutely.
OCD
He's
component,
absolutely somewhere on
maybe.
there as many of us are,
Yeah,
even if they
exactly.
haven't been tested.
Uh,
So, but he
yes.
absolutely does, and you many people have noted that, and I didn't spell it out,
You didn't have
because
to. You didn't.
I didn't want it to turn into a book about that,
No.
but yeah, I mean, he definitely has been pushed into this position.
So, a theme that kind of goes throughout with him is that the idea of belonging, right?
Hmm.
And things don't belong there, or this belongs
Right.
here, or
Yep.
all that. How did that idea
Everything's
come
out
to
of
you?
place. Yeah.
Everything's out of place.
Everything's out of place. No matter where he goes, he's out of place. No matter what he says, it's out of place. Um, it's the only time he was in the right place at the right time was for that horrible photo that was taken. And that's kind of that has locked him into place. That has created, kind of the way that I think about it is that he has he doesn't know how to be a part of the world. He doesn't know how to be a part of society and what where he wants his place to be because he's allowed society has defined him, and we all do this to everybody, for better or worse. We all do
Yeah.
this. We all have our worlds in our lives. We all have main characters, secondary characters, set pieces around us in our daily world. The world for Isaac has defined him. Isaac is the sad kid from the photo who doesn't like being around people, and he's kind of weird now, and that's who he is. The world
Yeah.
has defined him, and he is a set piece. He is a secondary character in his town, in the life of his town.
Yeah.
And everybody has decided who he is and what he can be and where he can go and what place he plays in their world. And he spends a lot of time because he doesn't know what else to do, accepting his position as a secondary character
Mm.
in other people's life. Like my town has, Isaac at the early parts of the book would say, "Well, I know how I am. I'm the sad kid from the photo. Just ask anyone. That's who I am." And he's kind of accepted himself as being this secondary character and what how other people would define him. Except there
Yeah.
is still that glimmer of hope because even with that darkest pit that he's in, the book opens with him making an attempt to reach out. He tries to go to do one television interview, not because he wants to, but because he thinks if I just they want stuff from me. And if I give them this one thing, maybe they'll leave me alone. So
Mhm.
he's never lost that maybe I can come out. And then the interview goes horribly and he retreats back in. And things start to go well for him later in the book
Yeah.
when he starts to allow himself to be his own main character, that I don't have to be everybody else's secondary character. I can be my own main character. I can make decisions that are for me. I can do things that are selfish. I can define my place in my own world. And what anyone thinks about it, that's not my fault. I'm not responsible for how people react to me. I'm responsible for what I choose to do and what I choose to show.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that one of my favorite characters in the book, who's at the planetarium with him, keeps kind of prodding him at very bluntly. But what are you showing people? What are you showing people? What are you showing people?
Yeah.
And he spends too much time showing them that no, I'm the sad kid,
Mm.
and he's not.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to be, he doesn't have to be that. So it takes
Right.
some time, but he starts to move.
Yeah. And so his uncle Steve, is the one who
Yep.
ends up raising him because his dad's in jail. And Uncle Steve gives him only praise and encouragement, only praise and
Yes.
encouragement the whole
Yep.
way
He
through. And
doesn't know
so
what else to
for
do.
yeah, so like for as a reader, I I had a couple different emotions going on with respect to Isaac's response to that, right?
Yeah.
He's pissed off at him. He's
Yeah.
tired of it. He's like, this isn't helping me. You're
Yeah,
t
I'm
telling me
clearly
everything I
not the
do.
greatest. I'm
Yeah,
clearly
yeah,
not the greatest kid in the world. Stop telling
yeah.
me I am.
Right. So part
Yeah,
part of me is like understanding that, just being told that, especially at his age, a teenager, he's
yeah,
going to feel that that's fake. And so I both understood him and yet was angry at him because Uncle Steve is trying so hard to do whatever he can. And in the end, we won't talk about, how
right.
that resolves, but it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful how you
Thank you.
tie that up. So did you did you know you must have known his uncle's character arc? I mean, you got character arcs for all these characters. It's beautiful.
Good. Yeah, I mean it's not a ton of characters, but it's quality over quantity I was going for with this one. Yeah, I definitely with uh,
Uncle Steve.
with Uncle Steve, I wanted the arc to be there for Uncle Steve, but I felt like the arc had to move, like the bend point, to be literal about it. The bend point in the uncle's arc, like the uncle is not moving in an arc. The uncle is just
Yeah, yeah,
moving in the
yeah,
straight
yeah.
line.
Right, right.
And the bend point had to be him being pushed by Isaac, finally ready to be pushed. So the bend point had
Yeah,
to come from Isaac, whereas you have a very different character who's also putting this gravitational pull on Isaac, which is Michelle from the planetarium, who is just blunt with him, who is an arc.
Yeah.
type of a character who, the uncle would say, well, do the interview or don't do the interview. Oh, you left the interview early? That's okay too. Meanwhile, the person at the planetarium is saying, that was stupid. What are you doing? So, I
Yeah.
loved kind of putting these forces on him and
Yeah.
I wanted him positioned in the middle and him to basically take all the data sets and to
Yeah.
decide, well, okay, well, what of this is useful and what of this is not? Who am I
Right.
listening to here?
Right. And then you have Hallie,
Yes.
and
Favorite, maybe
she's
she
yeah.
might, besides the dog, maybe my favorite character in the book.
Yeah, and the
Haley
dog is
again, Haley again, she existed previously.
okay. All right.
And she existed previously before the story. And when I was looking for other characters, I thought, okay, I think Haley and Isaac would be an interesting pair. So yeah, I
Very
had to put that
interesting pair.
together.
So she
Yeah.
knows telescopes somehow. She's
Yeah.
obviously intelligent. She's a little
Yep.
wild. She's kind of wild.
Yep.
Talk about her missing pendant. That becomes kind of a quest for Isaac. Why was that important to include?
Yeah, I mean, just from a literary device, I wanted there to be, just from a storytelling standpoint, I wanted there to be something visual to latch onto. I wanted there to be something that could change. I didn't just want it to be expressions. I wanted to take something physical and say, this character is different with or without this thing, and they are part of themselves with this thing. And we all have things that maybe we physically carry with us, a wedding ring or something that someone gave us or a favorite shirt. But I like that this pendant was just kind of always present, and was always important for Haley. And Haley's looking for things that are in a way similar to Isaac. It's just that she takes a different track at it.
Mhm.
She doesn't have the same tragedy trauma, um,
Different,
but
different
but
trauma. Yeah.
different trauma, and she's missing out on things, and but she has a very different kind of way of dealing with it. Obviously,
Yeah.
she copes in a very different way. He goes and hides. She doesn't exactly hide, but I like them as a pair because I just like the idea that she was not interested at all in what anyone else would tell her was a norm. Like if someone would have approached her beforehand and said, "Oh, that kid over there, let me tell you about that kid." It would have gone out the other ear, and all that would have been left was, "That's Isaac. He has an interesting background."
Mhm.
The rest of it would have gone away. The rest of it would have been static. She was like, okay, yeah, well, if you only knew what I was up to, but what's this kid really doing? What's real there? What's, there's secrets. I have a secret. Maybe he has some too, and maybe those would be more interesting if we were all just a little more curious and wanted to know who present day Isaac was, get off the photograph. Um,
Yeah.
so she was a curious character. She was going to be curious. She wanted to see things. She wanted to leap, um, but she wanted to leap and try things, but she also was kind of desperate to be grounded. She was
Mm.
desperate to have some sort of normalities in her world. And she wanted that, a normal family and a normal life and a normal living room and a normal all of these things. Um, but earlier than Isaac, she wasn't willing to kind of hide for it. She wasn't really
Yeah.
willing. She kind of held herself up a little higher,
Mhm.
um, and was still looking for her place, but was looking for it a little more loudly.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Isaac, and again, I'm looking at you because I think this
Yeah.
is you. He sees everything deeply, analytically, like with every sense. I mean, he notices,
Yeah.
that's beautiful in the book. I mean, the things that he just consumes. I mean, he doesn't
Mhm.
he doesn't miss a beat. I mean, is that you? Do you?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
observant. I'm pretty detail oriented. My brain can scatter very easily. But I usually like if I dropped a puzzle box, like I might drop a puzzle box on the floor and scatter a million pieces. It might be all just a mess around me, but I know where all the pieces went. Like I know that they're out there. Like I know that they're there. So I can have a bunch of things going on at one time and still kind of compartmentalize and keep them functioning. So So I always want more detail. Like I'm never like I don't think I've ever told anyone, no, 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 that's enough for now. I don't, I don't want any more. Like, no, I'm always asking another question. I'm always looking for something else.
Well, I want to
So
read something about light because you use light in a way in the book too, and it generally is slicing
I
through
love describing
things.
light. Like describing
Well,
light is one of my favorite things to do.
and again, you do it beautifully. So he's in this room. There's a window there. There are narrow windows along the ceiling line. Light from outside slices through the narrow beams from each side, meeting over the middle aisle like a silver saber arched over a royal wedding procession. I mean, that's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Uh, uh,
Thank you. Yeah, I love descriptions of things, especially things like not just like of an object like a computer, but I love discussing light and I love discussing movement and how it changes. I mean I had one time it kind of changed the way I was writing. I was writing a different book years ago and I was kind of frustrated with I wasn't things weren't being described the way I wanted them to, and I wasn't writing poetically enough. I wasn't happy. It was too literal and I wasn't happy with it. And I was trying to describe a character throwing a rock, and it was at night and it was catching moonlight, and then it was here and then it was moonlight and then it was gone and then it was rustling in the leaves as it landed, and I was trying to write it and I just couldn't. So like I went outside and I grabbed a rock and I stood near a street light and I just kept throwing rocks like and to see when did the light hit it and change it. And not just for light but for movement and everything. I act out like every single thing in that book I physically acted out.
I
Like
believe
I
you.
have to act these out. Like I want to know what I want those details. I want to know how light moves. I mean, my wife is a stained glass artist. That helps. There's a
Oh
lot of
wow.
discussion of light here. But I give credit to kind of as an aside, but as a bit of advice, I always tell writers, they say, "Oh, I watch a lot of movies or I read a lot of books." I always remind people, no, you're missing. Those are great, but you're missing it. You need to listen to more song lyrics, because a movie has 2 hours to make you cry. A book might have a few weeks to make you cry. A song's got about 3 minutes. But somehow they do that anyway. So listen to song lyrics. And one of my favorite song lyrics that's always stuck with me, and you reminded me of it when you read that passage, was from one of my favorite bands, Counting Crows. And there's a lyric that I don't know if I have the exact lyric in my head, but it's basically to the extent was like I wanted to sit there just to see um, the way light attaches to a girl.
Oh,
And that lyric always stuck. Like, oh, I can see him sitting there across a room, like marveling at if she turns her head and the shadows change and the cheeks pop and the glimmer in an eye that then fades when they turn. And just that one lyric just kind of stuck. I want to see the way light attaches to a girl. And that's always kind of stuck with me as a descriptor. So
what
I'm
a
glad you found that passage. So
what a great piece of advice too,
yeah.
right? Song lyrics. I mean,
Yeah,
I
song
tell
lyrics are
writers,
amazing.
right, right. I
Yeah,
mean, I tell writers and authors who want to write books, read voraciously. See what makes you laugh. See what makes you cry. See what makes you
yeah,
get angry because we want people to have emotions when they
yeah,
read our
yeah.
books, right?
And
Yeah.
again, not hitting the exact lyric, but there's, again, like the Indigo Girls have this amazing lyric that I listen to the song every now and then just to get myself in the mood to write because it's a lyric that says something to the effect of, Mississippi is mighty, but it starts in Minnesota at a place that you can walk across with 5 steps down. And I guess that's how you started, like a pinprick to my heart. But at this point, you rush right through me and I start to drown. And I will, before I write some nights, I will just listen to that song just to be like, I want to write like that.
Like
I
that.
want that. I want to find that. So I love listening to music before I write. And it's not just for the mood or the vibe. It's often just it's for the lyrics. It's for the poetry. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. You're giving us so much information here today, Mark. I
good.
mean, I just absolutely love this. Um, yeah, you have a subplot of the photographer, right?
Yes.
And you give him a character arc. I mean, he's
Mhm.
he's the bad guy, right?
Absolutely.
He's kind of the bad guy.
He's as close as
S-
you get to one, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and one of the other kids at school. Yeah. But
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the more notable bad guy,
Right.
if you could put it that way.
If
Yeah.
you could put it that way. And so the
Yeah.
idea of having a photograph, an early photograph, and perhaps a later one, how did that come to you? Again, you're going to say the universe. My muses
Yeah. It
gave it to me.
so I did have the photograph part. I literally had a dream and I woke up in the morning and the dream was the photograph, was the image from the photograph. And I remember waking up and being like, just seeing the photograph in my head and being like, what was that kid doing being led from a house with a dog by police? And then thought, okay, where did that come from? That was one of the initial ways that the character of Isaac was created separately from like the telescope plot,
Yeah,
was that
yeah.
that dream led to the creation of Isaac, which then got me to attach him. But yeah, that was a dream. A lot of my stuff comes from dreams. Other books that I've had come from dreams. It's very good. Also, but it's a double-edged sword because I dream about my characters all the time. And I can tell you, my characters do not think I'm a very good writer. So,
Oh, well, they're wrong.
so
They're absolutely wrong.
they're not super pleased, and they're not like the character. I'm releasing another book in September, and the character from that book is really angry at me for that he didn't get to go first, and that Isaac got to go first. And like they argue and they get in my head about it, and yeah. But a lot of the stuff comes from dreams, and sometimes good advice. Sometimes they'll have a plot idea for me. I just take
I
it.
am
But yeah,
so excited to hear this because I have a whole trilogy. My Water White trilogy started
sure.
with a dream I had, and I
Okay.
and characters and scenes came to me in dreams. And
Yeah.
don't tell little kids that dreams are silly or you're not going to
No,
do anything with your dreams because holy
no.
mackerel, you could do so much with them. And that is yeah. And again, I believe that's the universe telling us that we
The
have
one,
something to say.
yeah, the one for my book that's gonna be out in September. Literally, it was a nightmare, and I woke up from the nightmares, and it was like terrifying nightmare, and it's like that. I mean, I woke up and remember sitting up and being like, "Wow, like that's like I've had nightmares, but that was like top shelf. Like that was. I remember almost complimenting my brain, like, well done. Like that was a good one. Like holy cow, that was a good one. So much so that like that for the book that's coming out in a little bit, I gave that character that as a nightmare. So like that's the character's nightmare that he keeps having over and over again. So I was like, you know what? That was such a good nightmare that I'm gonna make it my character's nightmare. So
Oh
it's
my
not even
gosh.
like his real world, it's his nightmare. So I was like, no, thank you for the tip. I'll take that. My character, my kid, poor James is gonna have one heck of a nightmare every night.
And so you need to send me that, and we need to do this again after I read that book because I
Absolutely.
am
Yeah.
really looking forward to reading that book. Talk
That
about
book I
nightmares and
rewrote.
dreams.
Yeah, that one I rewrote many, many times. I wrote it before Isaac. I've done full rewrites on that many times. That was the book I wrote when I started changing the whole way that I write, and I started doing kind of method writing where I would like throw the rock outside to see how it would move.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
first book I started doing that with it. So
Okay.
the writing very much changed. So that's kind of why that character is mad that Isaac
Oh,
got to go
I
first.
can't wait to read
So
that. All right, now we're going to talk about a different subject. We're going to talk
yeah,
about wakes and funerals. Okay, now for
yeah.
something a little lighter, wakes and funerals.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. If you can't laugh at those, I don't know what you're doing.
so he's talking with Haley, and he's remembering his mom's wake, and he
Yeah.
says, "They say funerals are for the living."
Mhm.
I say, if that's true, humans are a bunch of masochistic assholes with no regard for even basic humanity.
Yes,
Do you believe this?
I do.
I do
And
too. I do too.
I
Let's talk
do.
about it.
I
Let's
do.
talk about it.
And like I believe I'll put an asterisk on it though. I'll put an asterisk.
Okay.
What helps an individual process and heal and grow from a horrible tragedy like a death, whatever that is for that person that helps them, great, do it. Wonderful. That's your thing. I don't understand how we all collectively decided that was a good idea. Like if that helps somebody, great. But I'm a little concerned about the kind of person that that would be helpful to. Like because I
Well,
don't.
Yeah,
That
wanting to see a
that
dead body of someone they
yeah,
loved.
I don't get that. If you're a principal, and I don't, and different wakes can be different at different.
Yeah,
There's all sorts. It's not like one wake is the same as every wake, but like, I a lot of them, at least when I don't know if they've changed. It's luckily for me, I haven't been to a wake for a while. But as a kid, going to a wake for for grandparents and things that kids would typically have to do. But then when it's a parent, you're not kind of left running around the room, sitting in a corner, playing with cars and just waiting for it all to be over. You kind of stand there in that greeting line, like the flip, like the photo negative of a wedding.
yeah,
When everyone's coming out of the church congratulating you, it's the flip, and you're
yeah.
standing there, and this person is just laying here next to you, and you just stand there and wait for people to come up and
Say the
remind
same
you
thing. Yeah,
over and over again how horrible all this is.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it's the worst. It's just the worst, and like yeah, I don't even know how else to describe it. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
yeah. At the funeral of my nana, who was she was my favorite. Seeing first of all, I was 10.
Yeah,
Seeing her, not her, seeing her, but not her,
right.
laying there. It was a little bit shocking to me. And then crying because she was gone, and having the priest tell me, I grew up Catholic, I'm not anymore.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Having the priest tell me that I should be happy. I shouldn't be crying. I should be happy because now she's in a better place and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
I hated that priest. And then knowing
Yeah.
that I hated a priest,
Yeah. How dare you?
I knew I was going
Yeah, like
straight to
how
hell,
dare
right?
you
Yeah.
say that to me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I was
remember
going,
having
yeah.
I had such a connection reading the book, and then it's displayed in the, I don't actually like the movie, but that much. But in the book and then in the movie for the book Contact. And it's displayed well on screen where this priest comes out to so the girl Ellie, her father dies and she's young. I don't remember, 8, 9, I don't remember, maybe Isaac's age. She's young and she's sitting on the swings by herself and just sad at the wake, and a priest comes out to just talk to her and basically, like, he's in a better place and he's this and he's that and all the things you'd expect a priest to say in a moment like that. And she just steely-eyed looks at him and says, if we had kept the medicine in the downstairs bathroom instead of the upstairs bathroom, I would have gotten to it faster, and hops
Oh,
off the swing and walks away. And I
yeah.
thought, yeah, you tell him. You tell
Yeah.
him. Do not sit there and take that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And again, different cultures, different
yeah.
people. Yeah. We grieve in our own way, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And again, if it helps you, then great,
yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
man, that's not gonna, it doesn't help me.
Yeah. No, I get it. So, all right. You got me totally, totally, totally worked up. And again, this is like how many pages is this book? This is not a huge book, but
230? No, it's not very
yeah,
long.
like
230, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah. That's about what I
18
usually write.
pages.
I don't
Yeah.
write that long.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you pack so much into this. So you get me totally worked up about the Chilean astronomers
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and the
Amazing
triangulating
observatory they
things.
got. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and did you contact anyone from there when you were writing this
I
book?
did not contact, no, I did not reach
You
out to
just
them. I
okay.
did interact with them sometimes at the planetarium, because sometimes on the computer I had in the observatory, we would display images that were taken from observatories around the world, sometimes live shots. And the Chilean Observatory does amazing work. And I always used to love showing guests images from the Chilean Observatory. So when I was trying to figure out where am I going to, I need another observatory because I knew the science. I knew that I had to have parallax. I knew that I had to have different places and times. And I, did them. I had to do the math to figure out, okay, was Chile far enough? Is that enough of a turn? And my research told me it was, so I involved them because I was already familiar with them
Yeah.
and appreciate them. So threw them in there, and yeah,
They added such an element of tension and
yeah,
angst, and I'm like,
yeah.
no,
Well,
no.
it provided a rush because
If
otherwise, like, he could have kept this, the secret could have been here
yeah, and
forever.
we're not gonna give away the
So
ending, which I'm gonna
no, when
say
what he
is
chooses to
a
do with it, but
yeah,
to try to get the science right, he had to, you know, to just kind of dabble and ask questions of professionals like those in
Right.
Chile. And
Right.
but by doing that, it starts like a clock ticking. Like,
Yeah.
secrets are only going to hold for so long. So what are you going to do with them?
Right.
So
And again, his personality is not to want to
not to
engage
want any
a
of it.
lot.
No, it's very
Yeah, yeah.
dangerous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was almost getting angry at you because I'm like, oh, this can't be happening. Anyway, okay. Um, I love this idea when you're talking about the universe. Uh, Talking about they're looking through near the end. They're looking through the
Mhm.
telescope, and he says, "You can't see it with your eyes, but it's there. People and the universe have that in common. There are things we can't see in people, and the sky is no different."
Yeah, double stars. One of my favorite things to look at in the night sky is that's based off of fascination with double stars. And you look up in the sky, you see one point of light, you hold a telescope, set a telescope to it, and you see 2 points of light. And it's like, whoa, wait, what is that? So
Yeah,
yeah,
is it
but I
there?
think
Is it
that's
not?
true. I think that's very true. That's part of why I've always loved double stars. I mean, there's more there. There's more there. Like, and it's kind of funny that like the North, if ironically, you think of, the North Star is our solid, that we're
Yeah,
locked into the North
yeah.
Star and it never moves. The North Star is several stars. Like it's not, there's several of them there. It's not one.
Oh,
So
is it
that's,
really?
oh, there's multiple. So there's A and B and there's others. So like
Uh,
even just that is different. And I always find that kind of ironic that we all lock ourselves in. The position
yeah.
in space is determined by this one star. There's more to that one if you look at it too. So, and it won't be the North
Oh,
Star forever. It just happens to be right now. A long, long,
right.
long time after we're all gone, something else will be the North Star, but it's not going to be that one forever. So,
Oh,
just
wow.
happens to be there right now.
Unless we all get sucked into the black hole of Planet
Yeah,
Nine.
and we stay
Oh,
around, and yeah, somehow we all enjoy, and maybe the singularity is fun. I have no idea.
fun. One last woo.
One last try, and one last go. Yeah,
Oh my goodness. As I just mentioned, I'm not gonna tell the ending, but it is a
yeah,
very, very satisfying ending. Very
good.
satisfying ending. So, in addition to a million and five things that you do and learn about and all that, tell us about Writerly.
Yeah, so writing is very lonely and it's very isolating. And there's kind of no way around that. Like, I mean, some people, can write as pairs and that's great, but you're always kind of right on your own. So, and even if you have other people around you, it's still just going to be your head that's doing
Yeah.
all of it. Um, it's also very hard to explain to people. People like, and that's not unique necessarily to writing. Other professions are like that too, where people just don't understand what that job is like. They don't understand what that work is like. You're never going to understand unless you do it. And writing is definitely one of those things. And it's that plus it being very isolating, um, just set me out where I really wanted to find people to learn from. I wanted to find people to share with, to bounce ideas off of, to be critique partners, to read stuff. And I just kind of set out to find people online. At the time, it's not anymore. I don't even have an account anymore. And I'm not sure what's entirely replaced it, if anything even has, which is kind of sad. But, 15 years ago, 10 plus years ago, when I was just really starting to get into novel writing, Twitter was where writers were. Like that's where you went to find writing community. And it's funny, I don't even have an account anymore. But like the app's not even on my phone. But that's where you went to find writers. That's where writers
Yeah.
were. I was told that by anyone. Like, go to Twitter, search all the hashtags, find your community, find writers. And it worked. I found a lot of people that I met online that I thought were wonderful and got to know them more and more and more. And just like that thing at NASA, where I was stuck on a wall trying to figure out who to reach out to if I was even willing to, I went to a couple of writing conferences and I remember just saying, these writing conferences were great. I learned a lot. They had speakers and they have, you know, um, classes and all this stuff is great, but I really just kind of want to go and write and relax and take a break and be with people who understand me. And so I just put it out there again and just started nibbling at some of these writers I knew better and saying, what if we all did like a writing retreat? Do you think we could get some people together? How many people do you know? Do you think would anyone show up? And this idea came up, and we decided this cabin. We're going to do this. We're going to have it at this cabin in the woods, and we're all going to go to Smoky Mountains once a year to this cabin. and we're all going to write and eat good food and just have a good time amongst people who understand us and see what happens. And when we first created it, we joked a lot about how we're going to get like a dozen introverts all locked in a room together, and we're all going to continue to text each other without ever speaking to each other. Like this is good. This is probably what's going to happen. The entire retreat is going to be this. And then like then we were talking, how how could this what other ways could this go badly? And then people started saying they were interested and they wanted to go. And then suddenly we had a group. And I remember even that first year, like we've done this a lot, but I would make t-shirts or a poster or something to kind of commemorate the trip. And I remember making this kind of commemorative shirt that was I went in and used Photoshop and I redesigned the movie poster for Stephen King's Misery,
Oh.
and I redesigned it, and I just had like the cabin and the woods, and I put all our names as the cast. And I had at the top like 12 introverts, 7 days, one cabin, what could go wrong? And what went wrong was nothing. It was amazing, and the group has evolved. Some people were totally into it and stuck around, and some people, it wasn't their thing and they've kind of left. But right now, I've got a group of 8 to 10, and it's just a really solid group. And we have a Slack channel, and we communicate all the time. And we're not like there's people in our groups who have stood up in each other's weddings. Like we're all best
Oh,
friends now. Like it's
oh.
gone way beyond just a writing group. Like we're all like these are all my best friends in the whole world. And um we still go once a year and it's amazing. And one of them is an amazing cook. So she does all the cooking for us and we have like just great food. And we all talk in a room where when we say something totally insane, from anyone else's standpoint, someone else in the room goes, "Oh no, I had that too. I get that. Like I understand that." And like we are the first year worried that no one was going to say any words, like, or would people just separate and go to their rooms and not socialize? We almost all write in the same, like it's a 3 floor cabin, so we can all spread out, and there's 8 bedrooms, and we pretty much spend all day writing in the same living room space, and we're quiet. We don't like interrupt each other, and it's quiet, but we want to be around each other and we want to throw questions out and we want to see how other people are doing, and it works. And when you're around your people, it works. When you say a crazy thing like I outlined this book, and in chapter 15, the boy and the girl were going to kiss for the first time, but I didn't actually write that because she ended up not being into him by chapter 15. And people look at you and they're like, your book, write it how you want. But a writer would say, no, that totally makes sense. No, my characters will balk at stuff too. So it's great to have that week where you can say anything like that and people don't look at you funny. So
I want to go. I want to go. I want to
it's
go.
wonderful. It's gone great. Again, these are all my best friends, and we add to it, so it's always some new blood to it. So we get kind of new people in. I like I didn't want to get everyone in here and then slam the door behind. I like that each year, almost every year, there's like somebody new. So it's like, no, we're still bringing people in from the cold. We're still bringing people out there who don't have a writing community and giving them one. And
Writing
I like
community,
that.
starboard. Yeah.
I never want to close the door behind that. Like we'll never have this is our set roster of people. No, there's always going to be an opening for somebody else. So
Mark, I have a really hard time believing you're an introvert.
I have,
And
so the way to put it, I'm sure there's different
different
spectrums
levels. Yeah.
of it. I
Different.
think I put
Yeah.
it this way. I have a social battery and it's not particularly long. And when it runs out, it's dead. Like
All
it doesn't
right.
sputter, it just dies.
Well,
So
I don't want you to die before the end of this interview because
no, we're good.
one of my final
Yeah.
questions is, um, what do you love most about the sky?
I love that it's an adventure you get to take with you wherever you go. I love that it's always there. I love that I can be in Colorado in the mountains, and I can be in Chicago, or I can be in the cabin in Tennessee, and I can step out onto a porch of whatever house or cabin I'm in or hotel and look up and know that if I look that direction, I'm going to see Jupiter right over there, right where I want it to be. And but also depending on where you're at, it's going to look different. And I think that's exciting. I tell people sometimes when I'm talking about planetariums, I say, I love aquariums and I like zoos and I love, we have the Field Museum and Chicago Natural History Museums. I love all those places. They all have magic to them that are unique to them. And they can't no other place can compete with them because of that unique magic that each of those places has. The magic a planetarium has is that it's not giving the visit to the planetarium isn't the adventure. The visit to the planetarium is preparing you for the adventure. Because when you leave and go outside, the sky is now suddenly above you, and you're taking that home with you. So a planetarium prepares you for an adventure, and other museums give you an adventure. And I just love that any day for any moment, I can just I could be right here talking to you and we could log off and I could just be like, before I go back to work, I'm just gonna go out there and see. I'm just gonna sit and look. I'm just gonna sit and look and see what the clouds are doing today, see what it looks like. And I just like it. I trip over things because I'm looking up most of the time. So that would be the downside. But 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 no, I just like that it's there and exciting and we're never gonna know all of it. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've learned stuff about the sky this week that I never even thought to ask. So I just think that's all exciting.
Wow. Uh, this has been I think this has been my most fun, my most funnest interview
Most funnest, yeah.
ever.
Good. Thank you so much. I
This
appreciate that.
this has just been incredible. You already told us what's next for you, a book coming out in September. Do you have a title?
Yes.
What's
Yeah, the book coming out in September is called The Scattering.
The
And
Scathering?
scattering,
Oh,
as in like
scattering. Oh,
scattering pieces. Yep.
like scattering. Yeah.
So yeah, scattering. So the scattering, it's a horror novel, young adult horror novel.
I love horror.
Um, so I mean, I grew up on Stephen King, so I was not going to go very long before I took my shot at writing something scary. Plus, then my brain gave me an amazing nightmare to work with, so I could not, skip that. So that's about a painter, young paint prodigy painter who has a nightmare. That's is the only once he has this nightmare, he goes colorblind. And and then it's the only dream he has every night for 5 years. It's the same
Oh.
nightmare every night. And he comes to believe that it's not a nightmare, it's a vision. And the nightmare is of his family being slaughtered
Oh,
while
don't
he
tell too
hides.
much. Don't tell too
Yep, no,
much
that's
because
that's
I'm
fine.
already
That's
yeah.
all right there on the that's
Yeah.
all that's in the basic pitch. So and he believes it's a vision of the future. And he needs to find out what's causing that and how to get himself and his family out of whatever predicament this happens to be, real or imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to read that. Uh, all right. Mark, this has been incredible. I'm going to have links to your website and your social media sites and how to get your book.
Great.
Listeners out there, the author, Mark Benson,
I
the
have one too.
book.
See, it's right
You
here.
have one too.
Yeah, see, look at that. Yeah.
I bet you
I think
I bet you
mine's
have more than
signed.
one.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I didn't even sign mine.
I
What
think you
kind of
signed mine. Did you sign
what
mine?
a
You
ripoff.
did. You
I
did.
did. Okay.
You signed mine.
I don't even have a signed copy. How did you get that? Amazing.
Mine is very valuable. And again, I love the art. Are you doing the
Thank you.
artwork for your next book too?
I did and done. Yeah,
Okay, all
and I
right.
create all the trailers and all that stuff. I do all the video editing for my own trailers and everything too. That's the fun part. Writing is hard, but I enjoy making the covers. So
Well, you obviously are multi-talented. People out there get it. Get several copies because you're going to want to share this with friends and you're going to want to share this with book clubs and any film people out there. This would make a great movie. This would absolutely make a
it
great movie.
absolutely, I've
So,
already begun to start casting in my brain. So yep.
well, yeah, and holy mackerel, I would love to see this on the big screen. Um, thank
You
you.
tell me what you tell me what you think of John Cusack as the photographer.
Oh, oh,
That was the
okay.
discussion I had yesterday.
Uh,
For what it's worth, that was the discussion I had yesterday.
I'll
So
have to think about that.
yeah,
I'll have to think
yeah,
about maybe I'll come up
yeah.
with a list of my own who
Yeah,
I
give me
think
a
we
list.
should have.
I'll pass it to all the people not approaching me about making it a film.
There's a little bit of a warning there talking about people approaching you because once you
Yeah,
have books out there, you get so much spam. I tell you, you get so
yeah,
many AI hit.
yeah,
You get people telling you they're going to do the world for you and put you all over the place. And if they
yeah.
contact you, just
Be
Just delete
careful.
it, okay? Just
Yeah.
yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Anyway, this should be on a big screen for sure. Mark Benson, thank you for writing such a beautiful story, which I truly loved. And people out there, give us a thumbs up, please. You know, if you have questions for Mark, write them below and subscribe to my channel because
Yeah.
I generally have fascinating people on my show.
If people send you questions, send them to me and I'll get you answers.
I
Yeah.
shall. Again, thank you. I love this. Keep being awesome, and we'll talk.
Thank you
All
so much. I
right.
appreciate it. It's been great.
This has been wonderful. Take care. Have a great life, and yeah, keep dreaming.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye.